Good Tuesday morning, everyone, and welcome back. The time is now 6:45, 25 cool degrees in Billings this morning. Let's go ahead and jump into news. Emotions ran high during last night's Billings City County Zoning Commission meeting. In a unanimous vote, the commission agreed to move forward with a special review for a gravel pit proposed near the Yellowstone River southwest of the city. It was standing room only at the Royal Johnson Community Room at the Billings Public Library last night. The Zoning Commission was acting on the recommendation of planning staff to review construction of a proposed 116-acre project on Wise Lane and Story Road near Oscars Park. After reviewing the proposal, the commission opened the meeting to public comment, which lasted about an hour. Among the concerns raised, public safety, traffic congestion, and the pit's proximity to schools. Local business owners and even the superintendent of Canyon Creek School voiced concerns.
Property owners in this area have legitimate concerns regarding several issues, some of them involving noise pollution, increased traffic, water rights, adequate water table management, and most importantly, reduction in property value.
Asked for research to be done on if our well water is going to be affected. We have over 140,000 gallons of water in our system. It is what the plants grow in, it is the livelihood, and I have yet been shown that it won't have any impact. I was told it probably shouldn't. Well, we have over $1 million invested in this business, and probably shouldn't isn't good enough for me.
The commission voted to advance the review to Yellowstone County commissioners, who have the final say on the project. That meeting is scheduled for later this month. Elsewhere, tariffs and taxes took center stage in New Orleans on Monday as the president made his case to one of the nation's most influential agriculture organizations. The Montana Ag Network's Lane Nordland is in New Orleans with the story.
From the partial government shutdown, the border wall, and the looming Mueller investigation, all those topics on America's mind this week. But in New Orleans, Louisiana, President Donald Trump was met with open arms by the nation's farmers and ranchers as he spoke at the 100th American Farm Bureau Convention.
A friend to the American farmer, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
President Trump began his speech showing his appreciation for American agriculture.
I like the farmers. What can I do? I like farmers. Thank you. Thank you.
On trade, Trump gave few details with the ongoing negotiations with China, adding that it will be beneficial for U.S. agriculture if it's complete. Though the new U.S., Mexico, and Canada trade agreement that will replace NAFTA has not been passed by Congress, Trump says the agreement benefits agriculture.
This landmark trade deal will increase exports of wheat from Montana, dairy from Wisconsin, chicken from Georgia, and products from farmers and ranchers all across our country.
Montana Farm Bureau members say they remain cautiously optimistic on trade.
I don't think we know enough about it, but I think that they're really excited about the opportunities that are coming for us.
I believe the man's on the right track. I mean, we didn't get here overnight. Things have been a roller coaster for the last few years, and that's on. He has opened up a lot of trade with different countries. We seem to hear about the bad ones maybe more so than the good ones he's done. We'll get there. I think we're on a track. We've done more for agriculture the short time he's been in there than the past presidents have.
The president praised the bipartisan 2018 Farm Bill he recently signed. The administration's work on regulatory reform, including repealing and replacing the Waters of the U.S. rule, while also saying that the defense of the nation is his highest priority in discussing border security.
When it comes to keeping the American people safe, I will never, ever back down.
In fact, the president spent the first 30 minutes of his speech discussing the border barrier, as he calls it. But at the end of the day, the nation's farmers and ranchers here in New Orleans were quite pleased that he attended this year's event. They say that shows his commitment to rural America and the prosperity of the nation's farmers and ranchers. From New Orleans, Lane Nordland, MTN News.
Meanwhile, developers of the Keystone XL Pipeline spent the day in U.S. District Court in Great Falls asking for the go-ahead to resume pre-construction work on the project. Back in December, U.S. District Judge Brian Morris ordered all physical construction to stop until a full environmental review is completed. On Monday, TransCanada told the court that the construction of work camps and pipe yards fall outside the court's jurisdiction because they are on private land with private leases with permits issued by local governments. Meanwhile, attorneys for the Northern Plains Research Council and other groups suing to block the pipeline contend that if construction of the camps continues, it could influence the federal permitting process and limit alternatives. Judge Morris will need more time to review Monday's arguments. TransCanada says if it is unable to resume pre-construction work by mid-March, they will lose the entire 2019 construction season. Now we go to Bozeman, where a disturbing discovery is made on one man's car over the weekend. The victim, Joseph Murphy, found the words "We're watching you, KKK" written on his car windows. The crime is a felony and the suspect can face up to 5 years in prison along with some fines. The Bozeman Police Department and FBI are investigating the case. They're trying to determine if it was an actual hate group, an act of intimidation, or a prank. Murphy says he's not sure who would do that to his car or why he would be targeted. In Missoula, class is back in session at Sentinel High School today after it was locked down for several hours Monday when a loaded magazine was found in a hallway. School officials notified parents about the situation, and shortly after noon, students were dismissed early. Dismissal came after an initial sweep of the school grounds. Removing the students from the building allowed for a more comprehensive search. According to Missoula County Public Schools, a magazine fitting a handgun was found early in the day and turned in by a student. A full load of Billings City trash dumped right in the middle of Rimrock Road shut down traffic for about 3 hours. Billings Police Sergeant Pat Curry tells us the city driver was headed down the street just north of Rocky Mountain College around 10:30 Monday morning when his load started on fire. Instead of allowing flames to spread, the driver dumped the garbage at the intersection of Placer and Rimrock. Billings Fire responded and doused the flames. Curry says city crews had it all cleared up by 1:30. Billings fire crews also knocked out a garage fire on Alderson Avenue. The detached garage was fully involved when crews arrived at 1913 Alderson Avenue. The flames caused about $40,000 in damages to the structure. No one was injured in the fire, and the cause is under investigation. 2018 was a record year for Billings Logan International Airport. Last year, the airport had nearly 905,000 passengers come through the facility, an increase of more than 50,000 passengers over 2017. Kevin Plone, Director of Aviation and Transit, credits the 6% increase to a strong local economy, a strong year for the agricultural sector, and marketing through Visit Billings. The last time the airport set a passenger record was back in 2012 at just under 900,000. 2018 was also a record setter for the Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport. While Billings set a new passenger record of 905,000, the Bozeman Airport recorded more than 1.3 million passenger visits. That's close to a 12% increase over 2017. Well, it hasn't taken former Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke long to find a new job. He will now be the managing director for Artillery One, an investment firm that focuses on industries like energy and financial technology. Artillery One says the former Montana congressman will be based in Montana and California, his wife Lola's home state, but will travel extensively. Zinke resigned his cabinet seat in late December amid accusations that he violated ethics rules. He has denied those accusations. Family Service in downtown Billings is stepping up its efforts in the midst of the government shutdown. The organization is putting together its daily family-sized food boxes, but now with an extra group to serve. Executive Director Stacy Brown says there is real concern for those who are on furlough or who are not being paid right now. The shutdown impacts as many as 7,200 federal employees across the state. Brown says times can be tough for those families right now. Those in need of help can get a family food box for their family size that can last 2 to 3 days. After that, those families can sign up for the food service's regular program.
I think that there are a lot of people who have never had need for our program, And so for them, it might be a little bit more of a question of what do we do, how do we do it? And that's why we decided last week to let's set this program up and let's get this going for them. It's a difficult time. When you miss a paycheck, you miss out on a lot of your responsibilities. And so this one, we know these food boxes can save the families hundreds of dollars.
Brown says Family Service understands that families may have to change a lot of things within their budget as the shutdown drags on. She says Family Service will help get them back on track and ensure those families are fed for at least 2 to 3 months once the shutdown ends.